also.
Okay, good.
Yes.
Okay, let's see.
Yes. It might be really bad. I said that.
Okay.
Yeah.
5th of June, we need a space here, 2010. Okay. Dear Doctor, Mrs. Constance Maxwell, date of birth. Okay, no space. I'm writing to refer Mrs. Constance Maxwell. We need a comma here, okay? A 72-year-old lady with severe edematous eyelids and vision loss for emergency assessment. Say emergency, yeah, not emergent, and treatment. What's the difference between?
Why
Yes.
emergent is adjective?
But it doesn't. It is not usually used. Emergent has another meaning. It means something like emerging, something which is appearing now. You know.
Okay.
All right. So that's something else. Uh, okay. Emergent, in the process of coming into being or becoming prominent. Okay. Of or denoting a plant which is taller than the surrounding vegetation, especially a tall tree in a forest. An emergent property is in philosophy, okay, and an emergent tree or other plant, okay. So yes, but emergent is not doesn't mean emergency, okay.
Okay.
It has another meaning. It's an adjective which means in the process of coming into being or becoming prominent. The emergent democracies of Eastern Europe, okay? Like the emergent Arab Spring, okay? They say it is emergent, it is appearing, it is becoming prominent. But we say emergency assessment, okay? Right?
Okay.
Okay.
For emergency assessment and treatment, what's the difference between treatment and management?
Treatment is
Management.
only drug,
Mm,
and management maybe operation and another
okay.
treatments.
Yep. So management has a wider meaning. So basically, you send a patient for management. Management can include tests. It can include referral. It can include operations, X-rays, anything. Okay. So basically, you can manage a patient. For further treatment, it's a smaller or a more limited sense with treatment. Okay, like drug treatment, we don't say drug management. We say drug treatment. Okay, but management has a wider use. Okay, Mrs. Maxwell came to my clinic about 3.5 months ago with inflammation of and sticky discharge in the eyes, in both eyes. Her eyes were red with watery discharge. You said that.
Yes.
You said so that is repetition. Uh, so with red eyes and watery, sticky, watery or sticky, which one?
Sticky.
Okay, so it's not watery.
Yeah.
Okay, so with inflammation and inflammation, red eyes, inflamed red eyes, okay, inflamed and red eyes with sticky discharge in both eyes, okay. She was treated with chlorisic drop every 4 hours with an impression of, okay, not due to, with or with the diagnosis of, with an impression of viral conjunctivitis. 2 weeks later, her eye problem worsened, and she complained of blurred vision. Now we need to talk about the tenses anyway. Therefore, Bion teardrop was added to a medication, and Chlorisic ceased to 1 drop TID. Not ceased means stopped. Okay.
No, I think decreased.
Yeah, was decreased or was reduced to 1 drop TID. I recommended returning for review in 2 weeks, not later. Okay, in 2 weeks means in 2 weeks. 2 weeks later. 1 drop worsened. Okay, and today, after 3 months, she has been brought to my clinic by her husband because she has a visual impairment. Yeah. Visual impairment and could not drive on her own. She is distressed and reports being able to only differentiate light and dark shapes, but unable to read or watch TV. Okay. Her both eyelids, okay, are severely edematous with a sticky discharge. Mrs. Maxwell is mother of 3 children.
Yes.
She's not allergic. She's not allergy. Of course she is not allergy. She's a person. What should I say?
She is not allergic.
To anything. She does not
Allergic.
have any allergies.
Allergies.
Okay. She has hypertension and thyroidism.
Hypertension.
Yes.
Hypo?
No. She didn't mention this. Only we said that thyroid disease.
But she
Thyroiditis.
she takes thyroxine, yeah?
Yes, maybe
So
because of this.
okay, thyroidism. Oh, that is wrong. Okay. That's hypothyroidism. Okay. So she has hypertension and hypothyroidism and takes you can say the medications, okay?
Okay.
Right. It's usually better to say that she has this history and she takes these medications, and then say she does not have any allergies at the end. With regards to her condition, I appreciate if you could see her as an emergency, okay? So, as you can see, what catches your eye? What do you think is the big difference between yours and the
I started from the past, come to the
Okay. So basically, what you think is that this is the same illness, which is started 3.5 months ago and carried on, and there was a 3 months gap. Okay. And after 3 months, this is you think this is the same illness that it started 3.5 months ago. I thought it is conjunctivitis, but it seems like it is not viral conjunctivitis. It is something more serious. Okay.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So, okay. I think this is okay. This makes sense. Only this last part, I think. Yeah, I don't think this is necessary to say could not drive on her own. We didn't have it in the notes, did we?
Because they mentioned that her husband will drive.
Okay, she has been brought to my clinic by her husband because she has visual impairment. Okay,
Yes.
oh, you mean in the last part that the husband will
Yes.
drive her? So it means that
Yes.
okay, husband will drive to hospital. It means that we
Yes.
she is not coming with an ambulance. Okay,
Yes.
and we can
Okay.
actually mention it, and it is a good to know piece of information. Okay, so
Okay.
basically, it's good to know that husband will drive her to hospital. Okay,
Okay.
so and as I said, with regards to her condition, I think it's better to actually to explain a little bit more, and just like I said with to say that
Yeah.
therefore, I mean, with regards to the visual loss, I think this is not a simple conjunctivitis, and this has been something different. And this is absolutely right. Um, I think it is good, except for just a few changes that you need to make. Probably, yeah, just say that you can summarize this bit, okay? You can
Okay.
summarize this and you say, I saw her twice about 4 months ago, and I thought she has viral conjunctivitis. Okay. Instead of
Okay.
saying all this, that I saw her first and I saw her 2 weeks later. Um, this is, we say that this is not efficient or effective summarizing. Okay. An
Okay.
effective summarization would say, well, she had a similar situation 4 months ago, and I saw her twice, and I thought it is viral conjunctivitis, and I treated her with eye drops. Okay,
Okay.
and this you recommended returning for 2 weeks after 2 weeks. Is that necessary? I don't think so. It doesn't have anything to do with the registrar. You're sending her to emergency, and you're saying
Yes.
that, yeah, I saw her 4 months ago, and I told her to come back in 2 weeks' time. Is that
Mm.
important?
No.
No.
Yes, it's true. I think
Uh,
that I mention it because I think first that she didn't refer to doctor after 2 weeks, and because of that, she the she lost her vision.
okay. Uh, mm, it could be. You could argue that. You could say,
I make a story.
yeah. I mean, it's in terms of. Yeah, I think I understand what you're saying. This is for recording that. Let me tell you something. If this patient goes and complains and says, "This doctor didn't diagnose my problem, and that's why I lost my vision," then
Yes.
you can say, "Well, I had told her to come back in 2 weeks' time, and she didn't." Okay, so,
Yes.
you will have a defense. And in terms of, we call this safety netting. So you did safety net, but she didn't
Yes.
pay any attention.
Yes.
In that case, yes, it is important to say this. Okay,
Yes.
I agree with that.
Okay.
Uh, right. Okay.
Right, so I have a question.
Yes.
In the first visit, came to my clinic about 3.5 months ago. Does it necessary to use past perfect tense, and the next visit past tense, simple past tense, and I mean the ordering of the tenses?
Yeah, we're going to
Okay,
discuss that after this. Yes.
okay, okay,
Okay.
great. Okay.
So this is okay. So Okay. If you put commas, the last one has a full stop. Okay. Dear doctor. دکتر بوده شاید.
Sorry, can I ask two questions about the first
Part.
writing?
Yes.
So the first part here. Dr. Write the first sentence. Yes, dear registrar. Is it right?
No. So, it's probably accident and emergency registrar or ophthalmology registrar or registrar. Yes.
Yes. After that, a comma.
Well, yeah. If you put comma after each line, you do that, and the last one is a full stop. You can actually not put any commas or any full stop. That is also acceptable. And just, I mean, recently, it's more modern not to use any commas after this.
But doctor, after Melbourne and before postcode, we need a comma. Am I correct?
Again, you can both use a comma or you can just leave it. Both are correct.
Okay.
And the dear doctor or dear registrar, or both are correct.
Uh, dear doctor, dear colleague, dear registrar. We don't say dear registrar. We say dear colleague. Okay. You can say dear doctor, dear colleague. Yeah, we don't say dear registrar.
Okay. And there's a third one. Referral, for example, Constance Maxwell, DOB 1938. Is it right in the below dear doctor or upper dear doctor?
Both are correct.
Both are correct.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Writing to emergently. I'm writing to refer Mrs. Maxwell, a 72-year-old lady with bilateral sudden vision loss or visual loss. Now, again, I don't know. We don't know about sudden, but anyway, for further assessment and okay, for emergency assessment and management. Okay. Mrs. Maxwell came to see me today with bilateral impaired vision. She could see only light and dark shapes, but was unable to read and or watch TV. Upon examination, she had marked edema in both lids, sticky discharge, was unable to read the eye chart. Okay.
Doctor, do we need comma before and?
Yes. Yes, we do.
Everywhere that's there.
This is this one when you have a list. The British system puts a comma here. In American system, they don't. Okay, but yeah, but usually we do. It helps with understanding. About 4 months ago, Mrs. Maxwell, I think it's Maxwell. That's why. Do you think you might lose some marks if you write Maxwell instead of Maxwell?
Yeah.
You might do.
It was in criteria. Yeah.
Yep. Okay. 4 months ago, Mrs. Maxwell presented to me with inflamed, sticky, and weeping eyes. On examination, she had red watery discharge in right eye more than left eye. Is it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, I didn't realize that. Okay. She was diagnosed. Oh, it's echoing. She was diagnosed with bilateral viral conjunctivitis and prescribed Chlorsic. Chlorsic? Is it? Where is it? Oh, Chlorsic. Okay. 1 drop every 4 hours per day. Well, I'm not sure about this. And on review after 2 weeks, her eyes did not
Doctor, was prescribed or prescribed only? Do we need was because it's passive?
She was diagnosed with bilateral viral conjunctivitis and prescribed, well, you can say was prescribed. This was belongs to both of these, yeah. But yeah, you can put it or you can delete it. She was diagnosed with bilateral viral conjunctivitis and prescribed, and was prescribed, it means. So it is correct.
Okay.
But you can, if you say was prescribed, it might be easier to understand, but that's fine. Both are correct. On review after 2 weeks, her eyes did not improve, and she had blurred vision with increased eyelids edema and marked conjunctival congestion. She was prescribed chloramphenicol 1 drop again, and Biontears. Okay, okay, that was, I think, a capital letter. Okay. Has hypothyroidism and hypertension. Does not have any allergy or any allergies. So the medications. You were doing so well, but then here you missed the medications, and takes Atacand and etc. Okay, I would appreciate if you consider for further assessment and management. Okay, and for what reason? As an emergency. So it's better to, if you put a comma here, dear, and you put a comma here as well, and because you don't write the name of the person, you say yours faithfully. Okay. Yeah, we need something here. I think you're missing that. Okay. Yes.
On review after 2 weeks. Do we need comma after on review? On review, comma after 2 weeks, comma.
No, that's
No,
correct. On review
no, it's
after
correct.
2 weeks. Yes.
Even if we hadn't after, we had it on review, comma 2 weeks later. Then need comma.
Yeah, I will just tell you.
You know, doctor, my general English teacher said me I was concerned if it's correct or not. Because of that, I asked.
So your teacher wasn't sure.
No, he said that you need two commas. In one task, I have written without comma, and he said me that you should put two commas here. But I'm not sure if he's correct.
Okay. Right. When we have a sentence, we say, for example, I usually eat my breakfast at 8. Okay. Now, if we want to add some adjectives, eat my breakfast hurriedly at home at 8. Okay. This is a simple, this is a sample sentence, basically. And so what is I?
Subject.
Subject. Then,
Verb.
no, usually
Adverb.
adverb of.
Frequency.
Okay. Then verb.
Verb.
Then
Object. Object.
object. Then
Adverb of manner.
then
Adverb of situation. Location.
place.
Place. Place. Adverb of time.
Okay. So, yeah. So basically what we have is subject, verb, object, and then we have some adverbs. The adverbs of manner, place, and time, they come in this order, okay? Now, if you want to emphasize something, you put that at the beginning of the sentence, okay? For example, I said, usually I eat my breakfast hurriedly at home at 8. Right, so the usually has come to the beginning of the sentence for emphasis, but it is not the right place for it. So we put a comma here, okay? Our sentence is this one. That part has gone to the beginning, okay? Now, what was our sentence here? Okay, our sentence here is her eyes did not improve on review after 2 weeks. Okay? Okay. So, on review, her eyes did not improve after 2 weeks. Or on review after 2 weeks. Is that one thing? Is that one entity? Is on
Yes,
review?
both of them. Yes, both of them time.
Okay. So, if on review is a different adverb, then yes, you can say you need a comma. But these are both, I mean, the whole thing is your adverb of time. Okay?
Okay. Okay.
Got it?
Oh, yes.
Okay. So basically, it depends on if you have two entities or on review after 2 weeks, it's just one thing. And you can see the whole thing is the adverb of time on review after 2 weeks. Well, this is one phrase, basically. It's not two phrases. Okay?
Okay. Thanks, doctor. I get it.
Uh, right. So, anything else? No? Okay.